Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. My name is Eddie. I've been studying various spiritual philosophies for 27 years. During those years, I began searching for a system of inner yoga that was simple and effective. I discovered Ram Ashram Satsang, and I've been enthusiastically practicing it for 14 years now. Right now, I would like to introduce you to our facilitator for today's event. His name is Brother Sanjeev Kumar. The soul's earthly life is a portion of the soul's journey, and that journey ends in a target state called natural samadhi or nirvana. When in nirvana, the greatness of life begins, we experience great peace, light, and love. By comparison, the peace, light, and love we experience now is so minuscule to the same experience in the target state that is practically negligible. So then, how do we get there? Our facilitator for today's workshop is an experienced satsang instructor who has practiced yoga for over 40 years. He's the grandson of Guru Maharaj, the founder of Ramashram Satsang Mathura, who created a new simplified yoga method called satsang so that everyone could achieve a life full of peace, light, and love. Raised in India into a family where many members use the satsang method mentioned above, our facilitator has personally witnessed their transformation into enlightened beings, leading lives filled with peace, light, and love. Upon arriving in the United States and driven by his charitable mission to spread satsang globally, he and his wife conducted satsang for satsangees. The latter had relocated from India to the United States. Later, around 2005, he started using online satsang. During the pandemic, online satsang brought people together from many regions, including those in the remote villages of India. From the comfort of their own homes, participants charged their dwellings with positive energy every morning and evening while enjoying satsang. Eventually, he began offering programs to meet the needs of English speakers. Generally speaking, he's an excellent choice for a teacher because he is committed to teaching all students who are willing to learn regardless of religious beliefs, race, and caste. Moreover, he has a good rapport with students, listens to their struggles, and encourages them to do their best. Presently, he lives as a husband, father, and IT executive. Yet, he continuously travels throughout the United States and India, managing satsangs. This workshop is an opportunity for you, the beginners, to learn how to achieve peace, light, and love in your life to make your life more enjoyable, more pleasant, and more content. So now, get ready to learn the secrets for success in obtaining peace, light, and love from an expert teacher with over 40 years of satsang experience. Please welcome Brother Sanjeev Kumar.
Thank you, Eddie, for nice words here. Everything we will talk about and also, found this ocean of peace, which then he decided to share his journey and a method that, based on ancient scripts as well as the recent research has been effective in today's culture and today get us, upstream and get us to a place which normally in this culture is hard to get to. So today, I want to talk about a subject which is very close to my heart, and also uh, the 7-volume book on his journey through uh, the spiritual realms. Guru Maharaj started uh, that book with this particular topic, and this particular topic is, you know, I, I mean, it has multiple dimensions, but one of the things is like, how do you progress, and what does personal progress look like? And in today's culture, I think there is a lot of, um, you know, uh, I would say um, there is a lot of pressure, but that pressure is sometimes more to get deeper into the worldly realms, rather than, actually progress. So what does actual progress look like? Yuan, there is that quote that we were talking about this morning, um, that between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So today's subject actually touches upon this particular quote from an Austrian, neuroscientist, psychologist, author, and he basically talks about that. I think what I liked most was the last few words, that in our response lies our growth and our freedom. What does that mean? So, what that means is that the outer world will continue to bring things to us, situations, people, various aspects of things that we then have to react to. But how we react depends on our growth and our freedom and our power to choose. And hence, I call a 5 steps to Nirvana, which has been depicted in Upanishads as Panchkosh. And this 5 steps, these 5 steps basically are, I also call it the map of internal states. And what does that mean? That, going back to how do we respond? We respond from to things based on our internal state. And that internal state changes as we move through these 5 realms or 5 steps drastically. I mean, there is a remarkable change from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid. So much so that things that perturb us or completely, quote unquote, shatter us sometimes, the same thing, the same event, the same situation at the top of the pyramid, you will be hardly perturbed. And that is what would be the map of internal states. So as your internal state changes, how you react to things changes. But that is not all. This 5 steps basically, for a moment, Yuan, can you bring that to the full screen if possible? Actually, there is a typo at the bottom. So realm of the mind is basically, underneath it's written the realm of the world. So realm of the world, realm of life, realm of mind, realm of knowledge, and realm of love. Now, realm of world is just eat, drink, and be merry. And security and survival is the entire focus. Here there is, just focus on purely materialistic aspect of life, nothing beyond that pretty much. And, once you cross that and get into the next one, basically a realm of life, is where, um, you know, it's like you have started a journey which will eventually lead to far higher consciousness and all that. But here, I think things are more like you still would want to do some action or activities, and incidentally, climbing up these realms or the pyramid uh, was actually referred to in Indian scriptures as sadhana. Basically, that is, the effort you make to move upwards on this. Now, so in realm of life, the focus has turned, but you're still, things that help you here would be like breathing exercises, chanting, mantras, and things like that. But where the meditation that we will do today um, is it takes you directly to the realm of mind, where manifestations, concentration, and focus is, uh, so that is where the focus is, controlling the mind. And when you control the mind, you gain some very interesting powers. And then you start turning a little more uh, you know, where this could potentially take you. So a lot of things that you see in realm of the mind are more transient. Um, for example, the peace, the empathy and love that you feel, a lot of those are more transient than in the further higher realms. As you move to the perception or the way you look at things, especially abstract things, uh, gets deeper, and living with no judgment and thinking through situations with neutral state of mind, using reason, accepting the truth, becoming forgiving, all that uh, is uh, and scriptures talk about, your third eye, where an inner eye, where you are able to not just see physical things, but things which are more abstract and far more deeper, become a lot more clearer. And then at the top of the pyramid, self-reliance and unconditional giving and unconditional love. So now, what's the difference? I think this particular thing, like unconditional giving and unconditional love. So love, which was at the bottom of the pyramid, more self-centered and self-focused, now becomes, you know, very like you're so full of love that it just oozes out. So it's just nothing is stopping. There are no stops left. Harmless to all. That's another very interesting aspect. It's like the picture I see when I talk about harmlessness is of an ashram that maybe when I was growing up, I had read a story where there was an ashram, uh, you know, and that sage was so, uh, on the top of this pyramid probably, that tigers, dogs, cats, birds, they used to coexist. So the the violent nature was lost when these you know animals would be in and around that ashram. So that's like so now how does that so like Guru Maharaj, for example, anybody who came to them would feel so free, to talk about things, that otherwise. So a lot of people who would come to meet him for the first time would talk to him about things that they have never talked to anyone before. So that's what I, uh, you know, found in a book. It was written that harmlessness to all, um, you know, I felt that that is one of the things that happens at the top of the pyramid too. Follows inner voice, and that is another thing. I mean, in this culture, we kind of sort of forget that we actually do have an inner voice. We do have the ability to um, intuitively understand what is right or wrong, and most of the time that inner voice is either so feeble or is overridden, almost inherently. But as you move up the pyramid, that's another thing that becomes so much more, uh, you know, stronger and stronger. So intuitiveness also grows along this accent upwards. And invisible leadership, and uh, that is another aspect which, like books can be written about. Um, invisible in the sense that leadership here, I would say, how you influence others. So, what we see politically and otherwise is that people in power actually demonstrate that power in ways that they would force influence. And here, this invisible leadership is completely opposite, where the influence happens almost uh, instantly, and uh, you know in a way that that power is not demonstrated. It is uh, you know the effect is almost automatic and accepted by the other person, freely. um, so yeah. So this is something that I think I will talk a lot more about. There are 4 or 5 videos that I had recorded a few years ago, but I was looking for a better depiction. So just a couple of days ago, we kind of came up with this. So a lot of other concepts can be described, like there are 3 levels of gurus, and where do they fit into this uh, you know uh, uh, into this pyramid. Very easily you can describe things like that. Another thing that's very interesting is that um, up to the third realm, you are describing what is the lunar phase, where uh, you know the person progressing is reflecting somebody else's light, doesn't have internal light of his or her own. And as you grow beyond the top of the third realm and further, you get into the solar phase. And that solar phase is like the sun. You have your own energy, your own light that, you know, in a way you might not demonstrate it, but would be in its own way, people would be able to realize that. So I'll pause here. So I think before we get into meditation, any quick question or any comment, Eddie or Teji?
Namaste Bhaiya ji. This is Shivangi.
Hi, Shivangi. How are you?
Good, good. Very, very good discussion and explanation of the different phases of the pyramid. Quick question. You said that at the fourth level, one can perceive abstract things. What does that mean?
So the thing is, you know, a lot of times we, you know, okay, so let me go out on a limb. I usually don't talk that much about, but let's say God is a concept that you need to understand, right? And everybody every religion describes God, but you have to so God is probably the most abstract concept. Now, till someone has reached the fourth realm, you are talking about something you have heard, something that you have been taught, something that you have maybe you have imagined, right? But at that point, you experience it. That is when you know it. So at the realm of knowledge is when such abstract things become clearer. So now you can talk about that concept with your own experience, with your own knowledge. And that is the change that happens there. So, and it's not just that, you know, the thing is, what is right, what is wrong, right? So, you know, in Hindi, there is a saying, bin satsang vivek na hoy. So without satsang, you cannot have that discriminatory power to really understand what is right and what is wrong, right? So, so that is again, you know, a lot of people say, okay, I don't understand what is purpose of my life. The thing is, you have to get to the realm of knowledge to really understand that. What your, you know, what's your duty, what's the right thing, and you know, so till then you have been told or you have read, but then you know. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Could I ask a follow-up?
Oh gosh, all right. So yeah, that's the last follow-up. Then we'll do the interaction after the session, right?
I can hold off.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
So at the fourth level, if you have realized God, or got to understand or feel and perceive better, so at the level 5, then are you God? Have you become part of God?
So that is again, oops. So 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 the thing is that um, that realm is like really, really, really difficult. And why is that difficult to cross? Because, there's only love that can take you through that, because you have to, the way I look at it is, I have a limited existence. I'm a limited entity. If I want to become unlimited, or abundance, or I want to become one with the ocean of peace, then I need to give up my identity into that higher identity, so that um, I'm one with that, right? So it's the classic explanation in the Eastern text is, uh, the river flows, river has it has its own identity, and river flows into the ocean and becomes the ocean and loses that identity, right? So that's the uh, the meeting is the love, and becoming one with that higher entity, and becoming one with that ocean. So the river now is part of the ocean. The river is no more, right? So yeah. So to me, the definition is, there is an abundant source of energy, and that's we call, the source of peace, a land of lasting peace. And, once you become one with that, you have crossed the fifth realm. So on that note, let's get into meditation, and then we can continue the discussion. So, a few basics again. Sit in a relaxed posture, so that the body doesn't move while we meditate. So there will be music before we get into silent meditation, and then transition out with music again. So we'll sit in a relaxed posture, so that about 25, 30 minutes we are, not moving too much, because every time we move, the mind gets distracted. And eyes lightly closed for the same reason, because sensory input distracts our mind. So eyes lightly closed. Try to keep, you know, the spine a little straight, chin a little inwards for better posture, but not necessary. Relaxed posture and eyes lightly closed. Then think of this transcendental light that's in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and we are becoming one with this light. When mind wanders away, which it will, bring it back to the same thought that this. So we're doing nothing but observing light here in silence. Music helps to get into a deeper meditation, but the entire time we're just observing this light that's entering our heart, distributing throughout our body. We are becoming one with this light. And whenever we find that mind has wandered away, just bring it back to this. That light is in front of us, entering our heart, distributing throughout our body, and that we are becoming one with this light. Let's start now. Okay. So, before we get into, I think Ajayji will describe some benefits of this practice. But I think, Shaw, you were asking a question. That can you occupy more than one phase or level or realm at the same time, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So a couple of things. One is that, like, if we look at, say, education, right? Typically, we will say, okay, he is a PhD, right? Sometimes some of the subjects you are doing undergrad and grad may not be as clear, but you are known as a PhD, right? So is the same way. The highest realm that you can get to, you will probably be more recognized for that. And the way I have a mental picture of this, so let me see if I can describe it. So think of a building, maybe a dwelling where there is an elevator, and the elevator takes you. So it has 5 levels. So the building has 5 levels, and there is a rooftop garden. Okay. And the elevator only allows you to go up to the floor that you are allowed to. Okay. So eh, some people only can stay on the first floor. Some go up to the second floor but cannot go higher. Some people can go up to the third and no higher. So think of, like, you would, but if you're able to go up to the 4th floor, you can be on any of the levels below at any given time, but you have the ability to go up to the 4th and 4th only. You cannot reach the rooftop garden, till you have that permission or the ability. So that's my mental picture. And Eddie and Ajayji, if you can, Shaw, does that make sense?
That does make sense. I mean, I was wondering if it was like that, or if it was kind of like school where you master one level, then you graduate to the next.
Mhm.
Because in looking at it, I was like, I don't know if I've mastered. I don't know if I've mastered the realm of the world yet. But I feel that I
Yeah.
can
Yeah. So,
on other higher levels.
yeah, see, the thing is, like, if I look at my own thing, it's like I didn't get a A in all the subjects, but I passed, right? so, so it's not that if you haven't mastered the world, the realm of the world, you can't go higher. You see, according to Guru Maharaj, who design this whole package, this whole thing for us, he says that as soon as you start meditating in a way, like especially the silent meditation that we do, you are in the realm of the mind already, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that you have, mastered the 2 realms below, but if you continue to chug along in doing what you need to do for the realm of the mind to master the realm of the mind, the chances that you will be able to do justice to the realms below pretty high, pretty high, right? So you get the tools through which you can handle that. But if you are happy and satisfied in the realm of the world, you pretty much there will be a lot of people you meet that pretty much ignore that there is anything else, right? So that's a change in the internal state, change in the state of mind, so to say, right? um, doesn't mean but I think what I can say, and as we were talking about, like, you mastered this and you graduate to the next one, that process I think still applies, because you have to have at least that base level to be able to graduate to the next one.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's fascinating because, see, not all realms are equal in terms of size. So, the realm of the mind is probably the largest. The realm of the world is hard to cross too. I mean, we all get some ways to, uh, you know, um, so once you turn towards spiritual progress, towards, uh, you know, uh, people who are searching for purpose of life, people who want to get to the land of peace, um, but there are a lot of people who's like, this is not my cup of tea. So, yeah, very, very good question. I think, yeah, this whole picture of like this elevator, which only takes you up to this level, and then if once you get to it, there is a rooftop garden, which actually is where you have the nice view, you have, nice breeze and an amazing experience there that's awaiting. And each level has its own, it opens up a whole new set of things, so to say. And I think that's what Ajayji wants to talk about too, right? Yeah, go ahead, Bais.
And namaskar, everyone. And first of all, thank you, Sanjeev, for a nice and stimulating talk and discussion as well. I'm just going to take a few minutes and I will just highlight a few aspects of our meditation practice as it relates to the uh, five steps of Nirvana, or the pyramid that Sanjeev ji mentioned in his talk. Whatever I say is taken from texts, which are written by our Guru Maharaj. I don't find myself accomplished to, formulate anything of my own. It's just taken from his text. So Guru Maharaj has said that there are numerous practices in the world, and he believed that every practice aimed at getting people to the apex of the pyramid that Sanjeev ji showed, which is basically the land of universal love. And most of us, if not all, start at the bottom of the pyramid, which is the realm of the world or the realm of the body, whatever you may want to call it. And we start from there, and then we try to ascend up and go as far as we can. Now, the techniques, the ways, the means and methods that one uses to, traverse through all of those realms, the realm of the world, life, mind, the techniques for each of those realms are different. And for example, if one is in the realm of the world, then one might need to, indulge in charity, worship in temples, or do other physical actions, to get through that. And if one is in the realm of life, one may need to master various asanas or the pranayam techniques to get through those. Now, Guru Maharaj believed that whatever one needs to do to get through the bottom two realms shown on this pyramid, which is the realm of the world and the realm of the life, are either very time consuming or they are physically arduous and strenuous, or both. For example, if one was to take the practices of asanas or the pranayam techniques, it is quite physically taxing to master those techniques and also time consuming to master them. An entire lifetime can be consumed trying to master those techniques, and one may still find oneself short of their ultimate aim of reaching the apex of the pyramid, which is the land of universal love. Therefore, when Guru Maharaj designed this practice, he initiated the practice at the middle of the pyramid, which is the realm of the mind. And what he believed, based on his experience, was that once one could focus and control one's mind, the bottom two realms of the world and the life, they automatically get aligned. And this alignment of the realm of life and the realm of world, when it is attained by first focusing the mind and controlling the mind, that process is much more effortless and easy as compared to one starting from the realm of the world and then ascending upwards. Now, once a person attains complete control of one's mind, what one has effectively done is that they have successfully completed their journey from through the bottom three realms shown on the pyramid, which is the realm of the world, the life, and the realm of the mind. Now, one can reach this stage irrespective of the thought one uses to focus one's mind. But the thought that one uses to focus one's mind becomes vitally important for us to progress beyond the realm of the mind. What happens is that when Guru Maharaj devised this practice, he very specifically chose the object of our concentration, which was internalizing the positive light so that we can accumulate knowledge and wisdom. And it is this knowledge and wisdom which is required for us to progress through the realm of knowledge and realm of love. If we do not accumulate knowledge, then we will not be able to progress through the upper two realms of the pyramid. So what Guru Maharaj did in this practice was that he carefully chose the initiation point of the practice, which was the realm of the mind, which he thought was the easiest way for us to, progress on this path. And then he also carefully chose the thought that we use to focus our mind so that we can accumulate the wisdom that gets us all the way to the top. Now, there are many practices in this world which will teach one to focus their mind on things which will not accumulate the wisdom or the knowledge that one needs. One can certainly utilize those practices, and they are definitely beneficial to some extent. But what happens with those practices is that one's progress gets capped at the level of the realm of the mind, which is the middle of this pyramid. Without the accumulation of wisdom and knowledge, progress beyond the realm of the mind is not possible. So in our practice, according to Guru Maharaj, with a combination of the initiation point of the practice, which is the realm of the mind, and the careful selection of the thought that one uses to focus one's mind, what happens is that one not only gets an easy and effortless path, to Nirvana or the top of this pyramid, but the practice also takes us all the way to the top. It maps our way all the way to the top, to the level of universal love. and it does not strand us in the middle like many practices would if you would not accumulate the wisdom. So that is in nutshell what Guru Maharaj envisioned when he devised this practice, and hopefully all of us will benefit from it. Thank you.
That was deep, very good. So yeah, we are getting on the top of the hour. So so Shivangi, anything?
Yeah, I have many questions, but in interest of time. um, great discussion. I mean, this is really good. So folks who are progressing from the realm of the mind, the realm of the knowledge, do they know that it's happening? Are they aware? Is there self-awareness? And if it is there, does it affect?
So if you look at like these days, lot of different yogic practices, vipassana and kundalini jagran and all those, so there are there are methods in which at different stages you see different lights or a combination of different lights, different sounds, different experiences. What Guru Maharaj found, and it is actually, and I'm not kidding you, what I found was, he, in his books, there is a lot of repetition, and I was like, when I was young, I was like, why there is so much of repetition? And one of the things he repeats again and again and again in different contexts is ego, right? He mentions multiple times is just knowing where you are. It's like if somebody just told me I'm a multimillionaire, etc., my behavior would change, unfortunately, and maybe not for good. So what, his observations and what his guru actually was kind of master of hiding. So see, one of the, I was born and brought up in Rajasthan, that state where, the most richest person would look really the most poor. So they would not demonstrate that they have money. So what Guru Maharaj found was that if you come to know that you are progressing and you're progressing well, even if you did everything in your power, your ego just gets the wind first. So his view was that knowing where you are is detrimental to your own growth. Okay. Isn't that weird? So, so, so basically, in his method, he documents as much as saying that I would rather put, um, uh, something to cover your eyes so you don't know where you are. And the reason is that as soon as you know that you have passed these realms and you're better off than, a lot of other people, it just, and you see those examples everywhere in our culture that anything you get, you want to show that you're better off and you're than a lot of people. But in spirituality, humility is tolerance, and all these things are extremely important. So, long-winded answer to say yes, you would know, but less so in our method because it's kind of packaged in a way that knowing where you are is not necessarily, um, you know, is not something that helps your growth. So is not focused upon. The other thing, I also know a lot of stories where Guru Maharaj and the other Guru Maharaj actually uh, would, um, you know, suddenly look down upon someone or scold someone just because they didn't want him or her to see that they are, progressing the way they actually were. So they were of the opinion that knowing where you are could potentially cause issues that you don't want to deal with.
Sounds good.
So I'll take one more question of yours. Looks like you have plenty.
Sure. So I think we were discussing this in morning session, that even like you are baffled at the fact that some people do progress in higher states and some don't, right? So it's so my question is like has Guru Maharaj chosen his people, um and how does he decide like who is going to be able to progress and who won't?
Wow. So the book would be called "How to Be a Blue-Eyed Boy." No, no, it will be uh, very tacky. I, so the thing is that multiple places, and I actually one of the articles where he uh, answers questions in one line or just single line, and he so that question and answer ends with his clear statement that and it doesn't just talking about people who are in this method. He just says that getting to the top of the pyramid is our quote unquote birthright, or as being a human, to become a real human. That's what Guru Maharaj Guru, the other Guru Maharaj used to talk about. Like he used to say, the real human being is the person who is wise, who connects with everyone, who knows how to be peaceful, and then shares that knowledge with others. That's how they define human being. So the statement is that anyone, you don't have to be in a monastery, you don't have to be signed up for life for service or whatever, which is great, but every person has the ability and the right to be at the top of the pyramid. Now the question is, there are again, there are multiple ways that you can slice and dice what it takes. Um, and and interestingly, um, my father has actually given some discourses on this topic because probably people must have asked. And one of the things that he talks about is, for example, you should be looking inwards. You should uh, your mind should be quiet. So looking inwards, mind being quiet. And then he says the top and the most important, which a lot of times is harder to get to, is a pure heart. So purity of heart is easier to talk about than get to. But through these processes, through meditation and all that, you can start looking inwards. So that's one piece. You calm your mind to a point where, as Maharishi Patanjali talks about, is like not your conscious, but your even subconscious mind, becomes devoid of these waves that are disturbing our peace all the time. So all that in place, but then he adds this third piece, which is purity of heart, which he says that as you you have seen people who kind of utilize that power in ways that, so even sometimes, like when I am powerful, when I have money, even my intent may not be, but then I start using that power in ways that it sometimes it's your right, but it's hurting others or doing things, and those come in the way of having a pure heart. So he says all those three things should be in place. Actually, this has been sliced and diced multiple ways. One of the other things I'm thinking about, where he says that you have to learn to be, to endure. So hardships and things like that, tolerance and all that is very important. But then he also says that until and unless you have empathy for others, you connect with others, and you have the intent and you actually do serve others, this purity of heart would not come through. So service is another piece that, so you might do the progress upwards, but until and unless you serve and hence become humble and so on and so forth, and have empathy and so on and so forth. So yeah, there are multiple things that need to come together. Maybe Eddie or Ajayji, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I just had, of course, myself, whatever you said is absolutely right. But I was just thinking one thing, that I think Shivangi was asking why, are some people more favored or something like that? As much as little, I would say, as I have read Guru Maharaj's text, everybody has to get rid of whatever is accumulated inside. Now, then it depends on how much buildup there is inside. Of stuff that needs to be gotten rid of. Right? Every person, that stuff that needs to be gotten rid of to reach a state that we want to reach is different in every person. So, if a person has more of that stuff to be gotten rid of, that will take a little bit longer for that person to get there. If the person has a little bit less accumulated inside, he may get there faster. But as Guru Maharaj has written, and Sanjeev ji has said, that once you are on this path, it is guaranteed that everybody will reach. It all depends on whatever you have, accumulated stuff that you need to get rid of to get to that pure stage of purity that you need to be to get to where you need to go.
So I have one more example, but Eddie, you want to add something to that first?
Yeah, I was just going to add that Guru Maharaj has written that he essentially can take anyone there and in a day's time, in an instant. The issue is that person properly prepared? Because if you're not at a stage where you can handle that type of energy being infused into you, then it will cause you damage. So it is a matter of evolution of your particular soul and cleansing, and the degree at which you're at will determine how fast and how much help we would give you to get you to your final state.
So one example, and it's very illustrative. I actually have a longer version of that, but we are on time now, or over now. So so think of, like, let's say you took a train from, say, DC to New York, right? You took a train, and let's just take a more fictitious example where you have a destination, and you took a train to that destination, and not even halfway you find a beautiful place. I mean, beauty that you have never seen before, and you have this, you feel like, right? And I'm like, should I continue to my destination, or should I take some of the jewels that I see here? What would you do? So, yeah, so I think it's a journey. Much. I mean, believe it or not, I mean, the fact is that, and I have personally seen this, people who got so accomplished that they were on the right path, they climbed up, and then, just found that they had this power over people, or over accumulating wealth, or something like that, and then that just got the entire train derailed. So that's I have so many examples of that. So, but again, I think what I feel is the train is going to the destination, and our goal is to stay on the train somehow, one way or the other. So, on that note, let's I really thank everyone who joined, and I think we should continue our journey. This approach and this method, I can tell you by my own experience, has taken people to the top of the pyramid positively. And it can happen. It just needs us to stick to it, So see you next time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Namaskar.
Namaste, Viyaji. Namaste, everyone.
Namaskar. Bye, Shaw. Nice to have you here. And Warren. Namaskar, Vivek, Eddie, Ajay, Anita ji.
Thank you, Sanjeev. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar, everyone.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
How do how to change the Namaskar Onkar, Manju.